It's a funky, wacky Wednesday here on the D. What's happening, everybody? You can follow along on all Disruption Network social media platforms. Much love to the sponsors. If not for the sponsors, this podcast is not possible. First and foremost, Eddie Alsheimer over there at EJA Moving Company. That guy is a gem of a human being, and you guys should use his company when you're ready to move and relocate. If you want to move your office, you want to move your gym equipment, you want to move your grandmother to a nursing home, whatever. If you want to move music315.com over to some other organization, you could do that. Eddie will do that for you. It's 315-335-0516, EJAmoving.com. Shout out to my good friend Matt Grabsky over at Joey's at 307. Amazing dinner menus. He's doing catering. He's got some great seafood dishes. Give him a call today. Set up yourself a reservation. Tell him Uncle Z sent you, and you can call him at 315-864-3527 or check out 315eats.com. Shout out to my folks over at Utica Coffee. Today we're drinking Southern Pecan, or how do you say it, Washburn? Pecan. How do you say it, Kohli? Pecan. See? It's all a little different. That's the difference between Whitesboro and Rome right there. Go check out Utica Coffee at wakethehellup.com. Also, big shout out to my attorney, Dave Longaretta. If you need legal advice, give him a call today at 315-735-6162. And, of course, our good friends over at Saranac. In fact, I got to give a big shout out to Damon Call. He's going to be dropping off some cases of the new seltzer for me tomorrow so we could test them out on the Uncle Louie show tomorrow. 315music.com is in the house with us today. Mr. Porch Dick Mike Kohli in the house.
What's going on, Z?
We're going to reiterate this nickname. I feel like every time you come in here, we have to talk about your nickname.
Yeah, of course.
It's because, are you still doing Porch Dick on the live feed?
When my kid came home from school, it kind of took the office away that we were using for a studio.
Okay.
So, and then when the nice weather hit, I was planning on getting it started again, but I just haven't done it yet.
That was something you started off in the middle of pandemic, right?
Yeah, it was probably close to this time last year.
Yeah.
My daughter and I.
How quick it goes by, huh?
Yeah.
So fast. And my good friend, Bryan Michael Washburn, is in the house.
What's up?
I'm so glad you two linked up.
Me too.
I think it's a perfect match, to be honest with you. I do. I think that you guys coming together only makes sense, and it's also helping out the good of the music community. That's why we have this podcast. That's why you have your publication. It's like there's so much talent here. We need to display that.
That's what it's about.
Exactly, brother. So how's things going now that things are getting open up back again? You guys feeling the vibe out there? Everybody's pretty excited to get back into the swing of things?
Get antsy.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, just in the last couple of weeks, so many shows have just been announced. And now that things are really fully open now,
yeah,
it's going to be more, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Anything you excited for? What's the top thing that you're excited for?
2 weeks from now, or 2 weeks from this past Sunday, going down to Levon Helm Studios to see Humphreys.
Ooh. Nice. That's going to be hot.
That's going to be sweet. Yeah.
Have you been in there?
I've been there probably 4 times.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Washburn, you been there?
I've not.
Yeah, me neither. I haven't been there yet.
Bucket list.
You got to go. Yeah.
So back in the day, they used to have these rambles when Levon was alive, right? Yep. And what would happen is people would come and actually bring dishes to pass.
They still do that.
They still do that?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
amazing.
There's a little room. It's kind of like what would be the garage of the house, and it's underneath where the stage area is, and it's just that's where the artists will sell their merch. There's barn merch there, and then there's a table with dishes to pass. So people
crazy.
Bring cookies or snacks or drinks or whatever.
Will they still do it now after all that's happened?
I'm thinking so. I don't know though. That's good. That's a good question.
Is it mandatory you bring something or
no?
You just bring whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's so cool. I just listened to a cool podcast with Eric Krasno and Amy Helm. Check that out on his Plus One podcast, and he explains all about that. About how she does, on how it got started and where it was going. And, Levon was in a lot of trouble financially at the time.
That's why they started it.
And that's why they started it. Because he needed to pay rent and mortgage and stuff like that. And it actually worked out for the better for him.
Definitely.
Yeah, right on.
And us. We get to go.
It's definitely on my bucket list, man.
Yeah, me too.
It's been on. So does Humphreys come and play in a whole full show, do it a total Humphreys set? Because those guys freaking rock.
Yeah, apparently. I'm not exactly sure. I saw something posted yesterday on their page where they're going to do like storytelling in between the songs, and that's kind of what they do at these shows. Is I saw Billy Bragg and Joe Henry there a few years ago, and they were touring on their album that they made at train stations. a lot of like old train songs. And each song had a story behind it. And they told a story, and it's such an intimate setting. It's probably, I don't know, 600 people tops.
Wow.
And there's not a bad spot in the room because it's perfectly made for live music, and it's just an intimate setting. And you just feel like you're hanging out in the living room.
On Krasno's podcast, Amy was talking about that barn burned down in the early 90s, and they rebuilt it.
Yeah.
Amazing. They turned it into this amazing music venue. Now it's legendary. Like, people flock to Woodstock, New York to go to the Levon's place. Yeah, it's crazy. We got some people checking in. Hi, Gina. Thank you so much for checking in. Also, Jen Michael Washburn Sumner.
What's up?
She's checking in and saying, what's up,
Archer
fellas?
graduated preschool today.
Oh, congratulations to Archer. These kids grow up too damn fast, man. It is. Where does the time go?
I don't know.
It happens so much. It happens so fast. But if you're watching us on Facebook, if you could do us a quick little favor and click that share button, help spread the word of music315.com. And, of course, everything we're doing here on the D. I forgot to turn the lights on. That's why you're a little dark today. Oh, well, it's all good. Anyhow, so let's talk about the publication. Let's talk about 315music.com. How long you been in circulation now? It's not really a print circulation.
It's not print. It's online. We started in February of last year, right about the time everything was getting shut down.
So right in time.
Perfect timing. So, so it's been just over a year, about a year and a half now.
I like what you were doing during the pandemic. You were going back into the archives, if you will, and talking about different shows that were happening at, like, the Capitol Theater and just, like, a bunch of just different local things that were happening back in the day.
Yeah, because some of us, we used to be with New York State Music. And so we did pieces for New York State Music, and those were our intellectual property. So we just kind of migrated a lot of that stuff over to 315, and just running like flashback stuff. And I tried to do some just local music spotlights, like I did one on you. And
you did?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you yelled at me about something I put in there.
Did I? I'm sorry, Mike. No, I remember. I'm just being a dick, and I'm being a porch dick. But no, that was great, man. I appreciate all the support you've given us here on the D. And I felt like it was like longer than that. I didn't think you launched it in February of last year.
It feels longer.
It feels longer, doesn't it?
The way the pandemic just made everything feel longer. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so it's been just over a year, and we're just starting to bring on some more crew. Bryan's with us now.
Yeah,
he's got all kinds of great ideas of stories to write, and spotlights and features that he wants to put together. And he's been working on a few. We were talking on the way here. One about the one on the Stanley Theater, and he's got a couple feelers out for some other local musicians that he's gonna speak with.
You've been busy, man.
Yeah. Been putting things together.
How's it feel to get back into the swing of things?
Feels fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're back, baby.
I'm back, baby.
I love it.
I love writing about music again.
You were killing it for so long, dude. What was State of Mind back in Burlington when you were living in Burlington? Revolving Door, yep.
State of Mind.
Upstate Live.
Yep.
When the Revolving Door. Groove Link. Wow. You're blowing my mind right now. I think the only thing you didn't write for was the OD.
Yeah, right. Seen it.
What do you got on the docket? Some stories you could talk about, or are you just gonna?
We can talk about some. One about the Stanley Theater. The new life of the Stanley. What they're going to be doing different. Live acts that'll be coming to town in the near future. How they dealt with everything and the way they're moving forward and stuff. So it's exciting new life for the Stanley that should come out next week.
Awesome. The events manager over there is a dick.
I heard that.
He's an asshole.
What else? Be sitting down with Jay Schnitt soon about his new album coming out.
That kid deserves all the love you could possibly give that guy.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
He's one of the best songwriters probably in New York State, if not the country. People need to know.
He's upstate New York's Dylan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. Isaac French, we'll be sitting down with him.
Love that kid.
And Trampoline Jetstream. We'll be sitting down there in the studio making a new album right now.
Yeah.
And we'll be talking to them soon. Chris Perez. And let's see, Groove Safe, the organization Groove Safe. I sat down with Ashley Driscoll I don't know, last week, I think. And we're going to be doing a piece just on them. And they'll also have a presence at Woods Fest, which is great. For those who don't know what Groove Safe is, it's this organization that is working with bands, venues, and promoters to basically instill protocols to notice and then take care of unwanted sexual advances that happen at shows, in crowds, backstage, the green room, doesn't matter where. Nobody's immune to it. For everybody and anybody who needs help, even if that's just somewhere to stand and someone to talk to for a minute. Of course, also medical attention, anything like that. Really powerful thing that they're doing, and I have to talk about it.
Yeah.
It sounds great. In fact, Fish just highlighted them for Dinner and a Movie a couple of weeks ago. They always pick an organization that the donations go to, and it was them, which is cool. So they're getting a little bigger, getting a little more out there to more venues and more shows and stuff, which is great. They're also going to be part of another piece we're working on about gender disparities in the music scene. Sat down with Haley Jane, Jess Novak, Kate Devin, and hopefully Ashley Cox is on board. And that's going to be a much bigger piece that'll be coming out down the road here. So
Wasn't Haley a big advocate for Groove Safe, right?
Yeah.
It was one of her organizations that she got behind.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
there was a few female artists that were.
She's actually who
promoting it.
introduced me to Ashley that runs it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was Haley's idea. She's like, you got to talk to Ashley. So
Mhm.
got a hold of her, and we sat down and talked, and we talked for a while. It was great, and realized this needs to be its own piece as well.
Mhm.
So
Especially you're out at a show, and these women, some women don't feel safe at concerts by themselves. And, people kind of, now that these pod things are going to be a thing in the past, because now that the restrictions are being lifted and we're going back to full capacity,
yeah,
people are going to be on each other's shit again.
yeah. I
so-
like the pods.
people are really cool and creative with the pods too.
Yeah,
Like at the
yeah.
Twiddle show, they were decorating, they were bringing
Yeah, it was
inflatable furniture, and
lights.
Christmas lights,
Yeah,
and
it
it
was
was
cool.
pretty
I
neat.
haven't been to a pod show yet.
You haven't?
No.
So it looks like there's going to be pod shows for the next maybe a couple weeks or so, but by next month it's going to be 100% capacity.
So Apple Valley be switching to.
I think so.
General
I'm just
admission.
going off of what I saw with Beacon Skiff.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that this morning.
At the end
Yeah.
of June, is that what it is?
Was it the end of June or beginning of July or
Something
something
like
like that? Yeah. Good. It's so good to have concerts back and just to get a sense of normalcy back and
No.
to have some rock and roll, man. We missed
It
it,
is.
right?
Yep. Have you been out to a show yet?
Well, we had Twiddle. I did the Twiddle thing.
You were there?
Mhm.
I didn't know.
Well, it's working.
Still, I would have came and said hello.
And then this past weekend, I journeyed out around town and saw a couple bands. Saw Last Left at Bag Square, and we saw the Showtime Trio over at Lucan's, and kind of bounced around a little bit. I forgot who was playing at the harp, but it just kind of bounced around. By the time I got to the harp, though, I was a little inebriated. But no, it's good, man. It's good just to be back. I feel the need that I need to go out a little bit more before the pandemic, because before the pandemic I was just kind of constantly working and not really going out to support the live music. But now that these restrictions are getting lifted and music's back, I got to get out there and support. I mean, that's why I have this podcast, to support it, but I want to be out there a little bit more. I feel bad, like on Local Music Monday, Justin's in here each and every week, and I never go see his band. So last week I made it a point to go see his band, and Showtime's one of the best kick-ass bands around. So good stuff, man. You did mention Woods Fest coming up in August.
Yes.
Plug the dates on that. I'm super excited for it.
August 7th and 8th at Woods Valley Ski Area up north of Rome. We did originally plan to do pods when we first put the tickets on sale. And throughout that first week when we had tickets on sale, we were going back and forth about what to do. And we just finally said, screw it, we're just going to go general admission tickets. So, because I think a lot of people got scared with the ticket price, because it was a $270 price tag for a pod, but they're only seeing the $270. They're
Right.
not seeing a pod for 6 people. And you split that 6 ways or whatever. But once we changed it over to GA, we put it $45 per day, or $75 for a weekend pass, and ticket sales really started picking up. So
Beautiful.
then when we announced the Sunday headliner, Jim Cotta, sales jumped up even more.
Cool.
So
Jim Cotta's your Sunday headliner, and on
Saturday's Roots of Creation.
Oh, I love Brett. Good dude.
And Annie in the Water's going to be there. The Blind Owl Band's going to be there. Mighty Mystic, reggae guy out of the Boston area, I believe he's from. Matty Walsh and the Blind Spots out of Ithaca.
Mm-hmm.
The Reflections, they're kind of a newer band, kind of a hodgepodge band of New England guys, guys from Lucid and a couple other bands. I forget the names of the bands, but I got to see them a couple weeks ago, Funk and Waffles. They were opening for Vaporize at Syracuse. Vaporize had a May residency on Friday nights out at Funk. Great show. That was my first show back from since quarantine. So yeah, that was great. Vaporize is on the bill for Woods Fest. Nina's Brew. Isaac French is part of Nina's Brew.
Yeah.
They've been with Woods Fest for the last two Woods Fests. Les Brers is going to be there.
Yeah, Allman Brothers.
The Sistai Brothers doing some Allman tribute. Tramp Jet's going to be there, Trampoline Jetstream. Space Junk is Forever. Six Fox Whiskey. I think they're out of Massachusetts as well.
Didn't they play the last Woods Fest too?
They didn't. They did play at Woods Valley. Tim had like a day where he had like 3 bands going on.
Gotcha.
And they were one of them. I think Annie was like the closer that night, Annie in the Water. Brick Drop is another band. One I'm really excited about seeing is Wade. New band. Mike Powell's new project.
Oh, yeah?
So it's Mike and John from Black River, John Hannes. And
Mannion's playing drums, right?
Yep, Adam's on drums. I forget the bass player. He's in Big Mama's Blues Band.
Okay.
I forget what his name is. I apologize.
You're making my day to hear that Mikey Powell's coming back to play some music again.
Oh, absolutely. And the wild card in this band is Jeff Effin Adderman on keyboards.
Who's checking in right now saying howdy, fellas.
What's up, Jeff?
Yeah.
Nice.
You can swear if you want. You can. if anybody deserves the F word in the middle of his name, it's Jeff Adderman.
Absolutely.
You mentioned Annie in the Water. Annie in the Water is going to be on Local Music Monday, coming up this Monday. And,
nice.
and Brad and Mike are going to perform a couple songs. So
Sweet.
looking forward to that.
I saw they've been working on some new stuff as well in the studio.
Do you consider them local, even though they're not from, well, they're kind of.
I do.
Yeah, I do too.
Because they have a good fan base here. And, Tim's been supporting them for years up at Woods Valley. So that's kind of like their second home, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I do consider them a local.
He's doing a lot of work up there, too, at Woods Valley.
Killing it up there, yeah.
The whole place, is it open now, the new lounge?
Not yet. He was still pouring concrete last week for the foundations, I think. For the new section, he did the bar side, tore the bar right out and just building from the ground up.
Will it be ready for the festival?
Supposed to be, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, you doing the same setup as before, the 2 stages side by side and all that?
2 stages side by side. We're moving the stages to the bottom of the hill by the chairlift, where you get on the chairlift. So you're going to have seating up the hill.
Cool.
Kind of like what they do at Modem.
Yeah.
For the main stage. So, yeah, I'm excited for that.
Washburn, let me tell you, man, Woods Fest 2019 was unbelievable.
Yeah, I heard.
So awesome. It was great. It was a beautiful weekend, and just everybody came together, and the bands killed it. And it was a great vibe.
I'm looking forward to it. I
Mhm.
can't wait.
It was a great vibe. You going to put them to work?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm back for.
We got a bunch of people checking in. Brian Honeywell saying hello to everybody.
What's up, Bryan?
And then Bad Justin DeLuca saying what's up to Brian. Hey, Justin, good to hear from you. Matt Kilborn, what's up, guys? Enjoy the weather today. And my mom's saying hello to you. So
Hey, Mama Z.
Mama Z saying hello. Also, Jeremy Kozak is checking in. He's saying, Mike with the Clutch shirt today just made my day. What's up, Brian? Yeah. I was listening to Clutch today, and then you're wearing the shirt. It's kind of random.
Funny.
I love
That's how it
Clutch.
works.
Me too. One of my favorite bands.
Yeah, definitely. They're
Yeah.
so awesome to see live.
And they're coming around soon, you said,
Yeah,
right?
they're coming to Albany. I think it's early October
Early October.
in the new Upstate Music Hall, which is now called Empire Live.
Good. I'm glad they're out of that old spot.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I hated that
old grocery
place.
store.
I hated that place. The thing is like if you're up front, it's not bad, right? But when there's too many people and it's overpacked and you're stuck in the back, you can't hear, you can't see.
Yeah.
It's not even worth it.
Yeah, you can't. Especially if you're like trying to cover the show and you're trying to be a photographer there, it's impossible
Yeah.
to get good shots there. But yeah, I'm excited. I didn't realize it was the old Jillian's.
Yeah, so they moved downtown, right? They're in downtown Albany now. Yep.
Yep.
It's good. It's good for everybody, man. Bernie's checking in. What's up to Bernie?
What's up, Bernie?
And DeLuca wants to say, could we talk about Gojira in Rochester? When's that coming? Gojira coming up soon in Rochester?
I forget when that is. I think they're playing at Montage.
Yeah.
In Rochester.
So much music going on.
There's tons. I can't keep up with it.
It's hard to keep up. Yeah.
And
Right.
don't you feel like they just announced it?
Everything.
Like everything just got announced yesterday.
Yeah. Right.
You know?
Yeah. It's already been maybe a month or two since people started actually putting shows out there, but it feels like it just happened, and it feels like everybody at once.
Yeah.
You know, like there's so much to try to stay on top of and go to.
Yeah, man. What are you excited for?
I'm excited for everything. I'm excited just to get out. I went to Twiddle at Apple Valley on the Saturday night show. Beautiful venue.
Yeah.
It was awesome. But just to be staring at a stage and seeing a band play again with lights and the stars and everything made me very happy. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see the Dead at Spec. Of course, I love them with all my heart. So when they get here, that'll be great.
DeLuca saying he's overstimulated right now.
Pull your pants back up.
You mentioned Twiddle, man. Those guys are really hitting it right now. I wasn't really a fan. I respect them, you know, but after watching them during Memorial Day weekend, I've become a fan.
Yeah, they were fun.
Mm-hmm.
They were great. Encore was killer. They covered Jimi Hendrix's Fire.
Yeah, and they had all the guitar players come out.
Mm-hmm.
And how many ripping guitar players are there on the scene right now? Because you got Mickey up there, Mahali from Twiddle, who the kid's a monster, and then Ganser from Aqueous. The kids.
Oh yeah, they were great too.
Yeah,
They opened.
Aqueous crushed it, and then
yeah, that was awesome.
Dopapod opened the two shows on the weekend, or on the Thursday, Friday, and Rob is another.
Rob Campo.
He's a phenomenal guitar
Yeah,
player
he's good.
too. And they were all on stage at the same time, ripping up Jimmy. Well, they were playing Along the Watchtower, which is
That's what it was.
It's a
That's
Dylan
right.
song, to be honest with you.
I know. I don't know why I was thinking Fire. That's right.
But yeah, there's so many great guitar players out there right now. A lot of stuff, a
Yeah.
lot of good things happening. I'm interested to seeing how much new music comes out of this whole quarantine, and there has been.
Yeah.
And them putting that music out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, what was written during this time
Yeah.
of people sitting at home by themselves with nowhere to go. You know, I can't. I imagine there's got to be some extremely poetic and fantastic songs that have been written that we're going to get to hear.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and for years and years we're going to hear that one was written during lockdown. That one was written during lockdown. You know, people by themselves, people who are stuck in with their families. You know, in a good way.
Yeah.
You know, and just people that were inspired by the way the world kind of was all in on the same thing for a little while. You know, we were all on the same page there for a short little while, and what kind of art's going to come out of that?
Is that
Exciting.
something you're going to cover?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it comes up, or I'll just dig for it.
Yeah. Well, there's been so much creativity coming out of there, and a lot of people worked with what they had. And recording albums, you know, a lot of these bands don't live in the same town, so they'd record a piece and send it to their buddy, and they record a piece. So there's a lot of collaborative efforts out there, especially throughout this lockdown. So it's cool to see.
Yeah, it's gonna be great to see what comes out.
Mm-hmm. What else do we expect from 315music.com?
We're going to some shows.
Yeah.
We're one of the big things that I like to emphasize with the staff of the website is to make sure we're covering the locals. There's so much of it out there, and it's happening almost every night of the week. And just in our area code, you know, between Syracuse, Rome, and Utica, you could probably catch a live show any night of the week, starting, you know, recently. And but we're also going to be covering some of the bigger shows at Lakeview and CMAC, and I don't know if we're going to be out at Darien at all. But
What about SPAC?
SPAC, we're kind of leaving to
The other guys.
my buddy at Nippertown, Jim Gilbert.
Gotcha.
We're kind of partnered up with Nippertown a little bit, so we share content with each site. And Nippertown is the capital region
Okay.
coverage, so they'll take a lot of the SPAC stuff, and you know, once in a while we'll venture out there if they're not covering something, and we'll share content back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I got tickets to see Flaming Lips in November. They're coming to Syracuse and Albany.
Which is one of the greatest shows you'll ever see.
That show! Oh my
Seen 'em,
God,
they're great. Yeah.
It's one of the greatest shows ever. When they played, it was August 2nd, 2019 at the Saranac Brewery. It was the greatest concert that has ever hit the Utica area.
Wow.
Ever.
Bold statement.
Ever. It's a bold statement for
I
sure.
agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the best show that has ever hit Utica. Think about the monumental moments that happened that night. Not only did you have the Flaming Lips who put on the great concert, and they couldn't even use a quarter of their production, but the opening that show was Les Claypool and Sean Lennon.
Oh, nice.
The Claypool-Lennon Delirium, which was it was like Primus meets the Beatles, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Wasn't it like that?
yeah, with a little Pink Floyd, King Crimson feel going on.
Nice.
Excellent point. You're right.
Yeah,
And then somebody else opened that show too. but-
Particle Kid.
Particle Kid, which was not Lucas Nelson, it's the other Nelson.
Yeah.
Willie Nelson's kid.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So we had two legendary sons in the house.
I don't know where I was.
We had two legendary sons in the house, right? Willie Nelson's son, John Lennon's son. Okay, the Flaming Lips, Les Claypool,
It's awesome.
and then who came to visit
Chris
was
Novoselic.
Chris Novoselic from Nirvana. Just came to hang out. He came to Utica to hang out.
Yeah. That's
And,
right.
and you can't miss him because he's like 6
Right,
foot
right.
10. And you're like, oh my God, what are you doing here? And so I got to talk to him at the end of the night. I was production manager on that show.
Yeah, did you have pictures of that?
Yeah,
Somebody-
I took a picture with him. I had to.
Yeah.
It's not often you could say you met a member of Nirvana.
Right.
No. So I got talking to him. I'm like, what are you doing in Utica? And he's like, I've had this on my calendar for a while. Me and Les are great friends, and and I love the Flaming Lips. And so he was staying in Burlington, or he's staying in Vermont or something at the time, and he just made the trek down and kind of hung out.
Sweet.
Unbelievable.
Well, that sounds like an awesome night.
That was every Flaming Lips song was like a grand finale song. It was
Every song was New Year's Eve.
yeah.
It really was. And Bernie agrees with me. He goes, I agree with you
Yeah.
on that statement.
I know
Best
he
show
was-
in Utica ever.
Yeah, nice. I know he was there.
Yeah.
He loved it. Yeah.
It was unbelievable. We're still talking about. We'll probably talk about that forever.
It's great.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite shows that have happened here in the Utica Rome area? Some of the ones that stand out for you. And we'll start with you, Kohli.
Damn it.
I was like, yes.
I sent Bryan notes that I took before, this afternoon. I was like, these are some notes I took for the show. And he's like, well, there's a lot of topics you got covered there. I said, yeah, because he likes to stump me. This is one of the topics I did not address in my notes.
Yeah, we're going to say whatever we say, and then like 2 seconds after walking out the door, we're going to be like, I should have said that.
Son of a.
It was this one.
Or just when you're about to fall asleep, right,
Yeah.
tonight? And
Yeah.
you're like, that was one I
We're in the
missed.
shower tomorrow morning. One just came to mind, Oysterhead at the Utica Odd.
Great show.
That was an awesome show.
Great show.
Just three legendary musicians in the same band. It was phenomenal.
How about that? Les Claypool has two of those. He's got the,
Right.
the Flaming Lips and then also the Oysterhead thing as
Yeah.
well.
And which reminds me of Fish at the Odd. Best first set I've ever seen in my life.
Which
Yeah, I
they
didn't
turned that into a DVD, and
Yeah.
then you can download it on Spotify now.
Yeah.
Live at Utica.
With the brewery's font.
Yeah.
So
10/20/10
Yeah.
is the date on that. That's weird.
That was awesome.
I can't even remember my own birthday, but I can tell you when Fish played the Utica Odd.
Yeah.
What else, Kohli?
Oh, geez.
So many, right?
Yeah, I've been to a ton of shows, especially in the last 10 years. I don't know.
I always put you on the
I
spot.
know. Thanks a lot.
Actually, speaking of fire,
Yeah.
the first show at the brewery after the fire took place was Mo, I think.
Really?
And they threw that in the encore. Yeah, I'm almost
I don't know
positive. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That was a good show. I think they did 2 nights, if I'm not mistaken.
I feel like every time Mo played the brewery, it was a couple nights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've done.
I
some
think
nice
they were the
shows.
first band back after that happened, and they played Fire, Jimi Hendrix's Fire, and I was like, ooh, I don't know if that's awesome or, I'm looking around for like Fred, like, is he pissed or is he loving it?
Speaking of the brewery, were you guys at that Government Mule show way back when?
Yeah, where the storm came through.
Blackberry Smoke opens the show. And they played their full set. All of a sudden, this dark cloud comes hanging over, and you had to shut the show down. Fred opens the brewery up for everybody. He was like, come on in. And he gave out free beer and all this. It was probably on delay for about an hour, right?
Yeah, it was at least an hour.
Yeah, it was, if not more. And they came back out. Government Mule came back out and destroyed it.
Awesome.
Mule heads to this day will still brag about that show.
Yeah, that was a great show.
It really was.
They're awesome. Warren Haynes is the shit.
He really is.
Yeah.
He's another artist coming to Apple Valley soon.
Mm-hmm.
He's just doing a solo acoustic show there.
That's going to be an acoustic show?
Yeah. What do you think, Washburn? What are some of your favorite shows that you've seen?
Around here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll say the 315. Or Utica Rome. Let's say Utica Rome.
Yeah. God. Put me on the spot.
Always. Come on, man.
It's hard. Well, okay. Fish at the Odd, like I said. That's definitely one of them. Oh, I hate you.
Most do.
Psychedelic Breakfast. Every time they played the Electric Company.
Oh, look at that.
Every single time. You know I love those guys.
Yeah.
I absolutely love going down there to watch them play.
Which, by the way, they are playing this weekend in Saratoga.
Sweet.
They're playing at Putnam Den after Trey, right? Trey's playing this weekend?
I think.
Is it this weekend or next weekend? And then Breakfast is doing the after party.
Awesome. Yeah, I haven't seen Tim play in a long time. He's one of my favorite guitarists.
Same.
Yeah. He's killer.
He's a shredder.
What else? Gosh.
I also want to open up this question to everybody that's watching, too. I'd love to hear what everybody thinks is your favorite show of all time.
Give me some ideas. Favorite show of all time.
In the area.
In the area, right.
I just had one come to mind.
Say it. Say it.
Slayer at the Lost Horizon.
Ooh.
On the Rain and Blood tour.
Wow. What was that, like 86?
86. That was insane.
Who else was on that bill?
Overkill. Overkill opened up for him.
Wow.
And it was just insane. The place was, ashes to elbows in there. You could not move, and slam dancing galore.
Yeah.
Everybody walked out of there sweating. Everybody's clothes were drenched in sweat.
Nice.
It was insane.
That's a good show.
It's something that will always stick
Yeah,
with you.
that's top 5 for sure for me.
No doubt. Brian Honeywell is saying Government Mule and Grace Potter at the Stanley. Bernie's saying the Black Crows at the brewery. That was fun. That was during the Utica Music and Arts Fest, too. And they were like kind of not the headliner of the festival, but they headlined at the brewery, and that was fun. My mother's saying Hank and Cupcakes.
Hank and Cupcakes.
Hank and Cupcakes at
They're
the
always
EC.
fun, too.
That was epic when they first played at the Utica Music and Arts Fest, and that was right when text messaging became a thing. You know, everybody had their flip phones, and Hank and Cupcake got on, and I think they got through their very first song, and everybody was texting everybody, "You got to get to the EC and see this band," and then they became superstars after that. Well, superstars locally.
Right. We all
After
fell in
that.
love with them.
Yeah.
Are they still making music?
So they changed their name, and I know they've had a couple kids.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and they moved to Atlanta. So I know they changed the name, and I can't remember the name. But, yeah, I'm sure they...
I remember the hype from the first year that they played, because then I was covering the second year.
Yeah.
And I made sure to check them out, and they put on a really good show.
Yeah. We've got a couple checking in. All right. Bandage is saying May 29th, 2008 was the brewery fire, and Mo played there June 13th with the encore of Time, and then Fire.
Nice.
Boom. There it is.
There it is. There's a fact checker.
Good job.
It's our fact checker, Dave Bandage. Thank you, Dave. Danny Millennial saying George Clinton at Galveston Castle. That was nuts. He wouldn't go on stage until he got his fried chicken that day. I'm serious.
Oh.
Do you remember that?
No.
No, he was being a dick that day. George Clinton was being a complete asshole,
That sucks.
and he wouldn't get on stage until he ate.
Was that just his show, or was it part of Motown?
No, that was a whole bunch of people.
I met him once on Church Street in Burlington. He was a nice guy.
Was he?
Yeah.
What was my role at that show? I can't remember if Brass Knuckle played that show or there was like a bunch of local bands. If that was it, because we played there, we were there a couple times. I can't remember, but Ian from Motor Lord, we are Motor Lord. He's saying Typo at the Ice House in Syracuse. Kohli, how many times did you see Typo Negative back in the day?
I think just once at the Utica Odd.
At the Odd?
I think
Pantera?
Pantera was opening for him. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Epic show.
Yeah, definitely.
Epic show. I must have seen him a dozen times. I felt like Typo Negative played like every other week at the Lost Horizon for like 3 years straight. They were there all the time.
They made that a regular part of their itinerary.
It used to be Typo and Life of Agony that would be the double bill, and then whatever local band would be sprinkled in there, and some epic nights there.
Oh, Trey at the Stanley.
Trey at the Stanley. See, see, more we get thinking, brother.
Yeah, can't forget that one.
The show.
That's where the plaster was falling down, right?
Right.
The show that brought down the house.
Yeah, just about.
Literally.
And then he had to stop. You know, they had to unplug, and then he just started telling stories. And I know you were there.
A plaster hit me in the head.
And he told this whole story for like 10 minutes because somebody yelled out Freebird. And he goes, I'll tell you 2 stories about Freebird. He goes, one, Leonard Skinner's family was doing a compilation album of covers, and they submitted their Albany cover that they did a cappella, and it got shot down. Didn't make the record. And then he goes, but then I got a better story, and it's when him and the guys went to Greece for like 6 weeks, and they were taking acid on a beach, and they hadn't heard any like normal music, rock and roll music, for weeks and weeks. And as they're tripping and watching the sunset on this island, somebody comes by with a boombox, a bunch of Greek teenagers or whatever, and they sit down and press play, and it's Freebird, and he just starts crying. Do you remember? And Trey told us that story, and I just remember sitting there being like, this is the coolest fucking story like ever.
Yeah. Epic night.
Yeah.
Backstory on that too. That was the night EC was supposed to open.
I remember that.
Do you remember that? And so I had the band Rack.
Down at the train station.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
interviewed him that night.
Did you?
That's right. Yeah.
Did you interview him that night?
I did.
I had to move that show to the train station, and that place was jam-packed that night.
I remember that.
But, yeah, crazy. And then we ended up opening the following week, which was Halloween. But the balcony almost came down. So the other day, I was in a meeting real quick, behind-the-scenes stuff at the Stanley. I was in a meeting with the boss, and she's like, what do you think about getting Trey Anastasio back here? I'm like, he almost, like, destroyed this place, right?
They just set new protocols.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, the balcony has been somewhat fixed since, and, they're ready for it.
Yeah.
That would be great, though. I would love to see Trey play there again. And I think that's why he loves playing here in Utica so much, is not only because of that night, but if you remember, he played the Odd a couple times. Trey Band played the Odd.
Yep.
Right, like a year after to
Fish
when he
was
almost
done.
brought down it's during the middle of Fish's breakup or hiatus, however you want to refer to it as. And they played at the Odd, like exactly almost like a year to the day where the balcony almost came down. And if you remember, they opened up that show how they left it off at the Stanley in this middle of a jam. They just that's how they started the show.
Oh, really?
Do you remember that?
I was living in Burlington at the time.
Oh, okay.
So, of course, we all heard about it because, Fish is from there and didn't make it down. But I remember they had the big countdown to Utica on his website, and so everybody ate up those tickets.
That's right.
Yeah, remember that?
That's right. Crazy.
Because you knew they were going to show up. Somebody was going to show up. Of course, we thought they were all going to show up.
Oh, and then what happened was Fishman, right? Fishman showed up.
Fishman showed up.
And Mike Gordon
showed up.
And what Gordon played with them, they did an acoustic thing. And Fishman only came in for a second to hit the bell in the middle of Divided Sky. Right. He came in, hit the bell, and then he left.
Right. That's all he did. Right.
Fishman was having a good night that night, man. He was having fun.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll talk about that off air. But Ian from Motorlord saying Sabotage Edge of Thrones tour at the Capitol in Rome.
What?
Yeah. Were you there?
No.
I figured you know a lot about Rome and their music history.
Yeah, I don't recall.
No?
I mean, Capitol has had not a whole lot of rock and roll shows over the years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember Sabotage. I don't know what year that would even be.
I saw Bonamassa at the Capitol.
Yeah?
That was back maybe.
Yeah, I remember he played there. There was some New Year's Eve show there, too,
Oh,
with like Mecca Bodega and The Breakfast, I think. And
really?
There was like 4 bands that played. That was back in like late 90s, I think.
Interesting. No doubt. Genesee Joe, he's checking in, and he's saying Slug opened for George Clinton that show.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, I kind of remember. I remember like there's a local band festival too, or I don't know. The Galveston Castles are a blur to me. Mm-hmm. Ian's also saying 93, just before Chris died. No, 1993 at the Capitol when Sabotage, Edge of Thrones.
So I was not into the music scene in that much at that time.
Really?
Yeah.
After seeing Slayer in '86 on the Rain of Blood, you weren't into music?
There was this dark void of time between about 90 to about 95 where I was just not going to shows and just I don't know what the hell I was doing.
Well, you're making up for it now.
Yeah,
That's right.
definitely.
100% making up for it now. Now, if anybody else got any suggestions, or tell us your favorite shows that you've seen here in the
Yeah,
Utica Room area.
Joe's got to have one out there.
Joe can do his own separate podcast on this thing. He probably knows dates and where he was and
Set
like who he
list.
was with and has set lists and
Weather.
like he's got the sticker still. It's a button. You know?
Right.
Are you a memorabilia collector, Washburn? Do you collect stuff? Posters
I used
or
to.
whatnot?
I
Yeah.
used to. Yeah, I used to keep all my ticket stubs. God, I ended up losing them all. Saddest thing ever. But yeah, guitar picks, ticket stubs, bracelets, posters. Yeah, I used to keep all that shit. Yep.
How about you, Kohli?
I'm more of a ticket stub kind of guy.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the same boat with him. I had this little box that had all my stubs from my first show, Judas Priest, in 1984.
That was your first
That
show?
was my
That's
first
awesome.
show
Where was that?
at the War Memorial in Syracuse
Wow.
with Great White opening.
Ooh, interesting.
They were just starting out. It was their first album. But yeah, I used to have this little box. I don't know what happened to it.
Yep.
It had all my old ticket stubs in it. So now I'm just like piling them up on my dresser now for the last 5 or 6 years, much to my wife's chagrin. But yeah, so ticket stubs are the main thing. If I can find a pick or a drumstick or something, laying on the ground, or I'm not gonna fight a kid for it or anything. But
Right.
What was that, the Screaming of Vengeance tour?
that was the Defenders of the
Defenders of the Faith tour.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yep.
Believe it or not, he's a big Judas Priest fan too, Mr. Washburn over here.
Oh yeah.
Well, especially Rock-a-Rolla and Sad
He-
Wings. But
Oh, nice.
You turned me on to that album.
Rock-a-Rolla?
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite albums ever.
Yeah.
Kidding, really?
Yeah. And when you listen to it, it's like nobody would ever think that was Judas Priest. 'Cause
Yeah,
they,
it's a completely different band.
yeah, it's more blues rock oriented. And then they definitely morphed after that. But yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, for sure.
Run of the Mill, one of the best songs ever.
When you collect these ticket stubs nowadays, are you printing off the paper?
Get an actual ticket as much as I possibly can.
Yeah.
Now most of them are, the QR codes on your phone. So
That's how it's going
kind
now.
of disappointing, but
Yeah. Now with
Yeah.
COVID in effect, now you're not going to get too many printouts
Yeah.
anymore. It's
Yeah.
all going to be you pay in advance and
It's sad because
that's
they used
it.
to be so cool.
Yeah.
After I lost them all, I kind of lost heart.
How'd you lose them all?
Stopped collecting them. I have no idea.
Yeah, yeah.
I would know where they were if I knew how I lost them. No, I
Lost
don't
them in
know.
your blackout.
It could have been blackout years. It could have been. I moved a lot over the years, so it was between Burlington and then back here. And then when I moved back home, I moved probably 4 times in like a 2 or 3 year period. And then I got to one place and I unpacked everything, and I was specifically looking for them, and I tore everything apart, and I'm like, they're gone. And they were in a CD case, so all those CDs were gone, which sucked too, because those were CDs like that I got at shows by bands. You can't just go buy that music. So, like 100 ticket stubs and whatever, and still burns me to this day.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because I was gonna like put them all in a shadow box, and I was so proud of all those. This was my life. This was traveling here, traveling there. This show, oh my god, I remember that one. My first show ever. All those ticket stubs. So,
What was your first show ever?
well, technically it was New Kids on the Block. I was about 9 years old.
Because you got the right stuff, baby.
Yeah, went with Jennifer. My mom took Jennifer and another family friend of ours, and she's like, I don't know how it came up, but I went. Like, I don't know. I think I wanted to see what a concert looked like, and they were going, and, it was exciting. That was at Saratoga Racetrack. My first real show, though, that I really wanted to go to was Garth Brooks at the Dome when I was 17, which was cool.
He puts on a great show.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest people I've ever seen interact with a crowd. Him and Billy Joe from Green Day, like 2 of the best people I've ever seen talk to the crowd. They're so energetic
Billy
and
Joe brings kids
infectious.
up on stage.
Yeah, huh?
Billy Joe brings kids up on stage to
Nice.
play with them.
Does he?
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
That is awesome.
Like my daughter and I have this thing where we go to punk shows every year at Darien Lake, or we had this anyways. So the first show we went to was the Warp Tour, the last iteration of the Warp Tour, and she was in heaven because she loves all those bands. So we were jamming around all day there, and then the next year we went to see Green Day, and we were on the lawn at Darien Lake, and this all of a sudden, this kid is up on stage talking to Billy Joe, and he hands this kid a guitar, and she's like, "Oh my God, I know that kid." I'm like, "You don't know that kid. We're freaking Buffalo. You don't know." "No, I do. I really know that kid. He was at Camp Naz with me last summer, and he kept playing. He was playing guitar all the time, and he was always playing Green Day." This is like this 10-year-old kid, and he's up on stage playing with Green Day.
Must have been a dream.
And then Billy Joe gave him the guitar afterwards.
How cool
That's
is
awesome.
that? It's the one thing I love about Dave Grohl, too.
Yeah.
Dave Grohl's always opening up his stage to anybody. He's always bringing up some kids.
It's awesome.
Yeah, amazing.
You got to spread the love.
You got to spread the love.
My
Band-
brother was just at that Foo Fighters show in L.A. last night.
Really?
It was a 600-person venue, and he stood in line to get tickets, and he was at the show last night.
Anything miraculous happened? Did they have
I checked the set list. It was pretty much standard greatest hits type stuff.
Yeah.
So nothing out of the ordinary. But I haven't gotten the report from him yet because he's probably still in bed.
No John Paul
He lives
Jones
in L.A., so-
appearance or something.
Yeah, right.
Well, I don't think so.
Jimmy Page.
I ever tell you my Dave Grohl experience? So I was working the Super Bowl back in 2018. Was it 2018? I don't remember. And the one in Atlanta was the Rams and the Patriots. And what we were doing is we were filling in for all the stagehands because the NFL was eating up all the local stagehands. So they sent us down there. And we ended up at the Tabernacle for Zach Brown. And we get a text message, "Get in here right now." Okay, so we go in because we were outside waiting to get the call. I said, "Get in here right now." So we go inside. Lo and behold, there's Dave Grohl on stage with Zach Brown doing Enter Sandman. Like, you didn't get my phone out. I got to record. Now I'm turning into that guy. Like, Dave, how often do you see Dave Grohl? I'm like from me to you away.
Right.
So now the show's over. Badger and I start walking towards the back. It's time to get to work, putting on the gloves, time to go to work. And as we're walking out, Dave Grohl's sitting right at the back door smoking a cigarette, and he points at Badger and goes, "Dude with a beard, dude with a beard, dude with a beard." And the Badger and I just kind of looked at each other. He's like, "Dude, did Dave Grohl just point at me going, dude with a beard, dude with a beard, dude with a beard?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Wow, this is going to be a great weekend." And it was. I mean, we ran into so many people that weekend, but yeah, it was pretty cool to just be right there in front of the idol.
Sure.
Guy's amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
Bandage is saying Galveston Castle Estate. It was October the 8th, 2011. It was Slug, the High Steppers, and George Clinton and the Funkadelics. That's the advertised event. So I think there was another local band fest that we were a part of. I can't remember any of those. The 2011 is definitely in the middle of my blackout. So
Yeah, that was the last Mo down there. Just a month before that, then.
yeah, it was.
2011.
Yeah, that was cool venue. I think it had tons of
It
potential,
was.
but sketchy
Yeah.
owners is
Yeah.
what happened there. Very sketchy owners. All right, I got to throw another question out to both of you guys. Local bands right now that people need to go see.
I made a list of that.
Oh, damn! I was kind of hoping to stump you. No, I'm glad you did, actually, because this is important.
So I mentioned earlier Wade with Jeff fucking Adderman.
Who?
Jeff fucking Adderman.
The Modus guy?
Yeah,
He was in Red Herring, too, right?
something like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. He's a happy-go-lucky fella.
Yeah.
And Trauma Cat out of Syracuse, really cool kind of alt rock band.
Yeah?
Really oddballs, cool stuff. If you check out their Facebook page, they do a lot of weird shit.
I like weird shit.
A lot of cat-related stuff. They're very apologetic in all their posts. Like, we regret to inform you that we have a new single, or stuff like that. So they got a little gimmick going with that, but they're fun. They put some good music out. Another band I discovered through the Sammys. They were nominated for a Sammy this year, called the Kiwis. Kind of a pop punk type deal. Pretty cool. They're out of Syracuse. I haven't seen them list any dates or where they play at all or anything. Just happened to hear them on Spotify, and I really dig their album. Sydney Irving has been through the area quite a bit lately.
She's crushing it.
Yeah, she played at Copper City about a month ago, and she was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I did an interview with her for 315, and 17 years old. You'd never know it. She comes across as such a seasoned veteran of the music scene. She's been playing since she was like 12, I think.
Amazing.
10 or 12, and she's got influences that range from Taylor Swift to Ronnie James Dio. She loves Ronnie James Dio. When she came to Copper City, she had a jean jacket on with a Dio pin on it, and she played Holy Diver.
Wow.
Acoustic. It was cool as shit. But Oh, Anthony Saturno.
Yeah, great guitar player.
Guitarist, yeah, great guitarist. He and Jamie Cunningham played at Copper City a couple weeks ago, and they're starting a new project with themselves. Anthony plays with just about
5
everybody.
different bands.
Yeah, he's in like Atkins Riot.
Yeah,
he's in Jess Novak's band. I think he's got one other band, and he does some solo stuff. He put out a solo album last year. Now he's got this project with Jamie Cunningham, where Jamie plays acoustic guitar and Anthony plays electric. So I'm excited to hear that because they've been in the studio recently recording, and the show they put on at Copper City was really cool. They're really good.
It's great, phenomenal talent, Anthony.
Yeah. He's a great guy too. Really cool guy.
And Atkins Riot, pretty cool band too.
Yeah,
that's another
nice
band you
little
guys
power
should go
trio
check out.
type thing.
They won a Sammy this year too.
Yeah, best alternative, I think.
Yep.
And one more, All Poets and Heroes. They're a Syracuse band as well, but Nash Robb is part of that band as well.
Oh,
so
cool.
Nash is kind of dipping his toes into a bunch of stuff too. He's back with the Old Main now. He's playing. He's kind of out of his wheelhouse with All Poets and Heroes because they're more of an alt rock type band, and he's never really played alt rock. He's been more Americana and stuff like that for most of his playing life. But he's really digging this gig with All Poets. But he also put a new EP out. He's got a new EP coming out.
Does he?
Yeah, he sent me an advanced copy of it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Just solo stuff, acoustic stuff. Cool, really cool stuff. I love his voice.
Nice.
He's playing at Copper City tonight, actually.
Nash is at Copper City tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Copper City got a full schedule?
Well, we kind of cut down on the days. We were doing in the before days. We were
back in my day.
We were doing Thursday nights and Sunday afternoons every week. And once COVID shut everything down, we didn't do anything for a while. We did do those quarantine concerts things where we were closed. We just pre-recorded a bunch of people.
Great job with that, by the way.
That was fun. That was really cool. We had so many good musicians come in, and Jay Schnitt was there, Kate Devin was there, Psychometrics were there. Well, it's Jess Novak and Ben Wayne. Isaac French was there. Seth and Nash from the Old Main was there.
Oh, the Old Main. We'll be sitting down with them.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be doing a piece on them as well.
Cool. Good.
Yeah.
They deserve all the recognition they could possibly get, man. Do we expect them on Woods Fest?
They were scheduled to play at Ray Brothers somewhere in that time frame. They had a radius clause, so we couldn't get them.
Oh, interesting.
And so Seth and Nash are going to be artists at large for Woods Fest.
I got to throw this phone because he won't stop. Some group chats. If you guys are watching this, stop group chatting me. I got to throw that over there.
So yeah, Seth and Nash will be at Woods Fest, kind of sitting in with people and maybe doing a late night jam session on Saturday. We also have Ted Gray from Raisin Head is another artist at large.
Nice.
And then Ben from Pigeons is going to be another artist at large at Woods Fest.
Artist at large.
So they're just going to jam around the grounds throughout the weekend. And I'm excited for this. It's 2 days. And just insanity.
Washburn, have you been able to see any new artists in the area? Or have you checked in? Is there anybody on your radar that you want to go check out?
Yeah. Tramp Jet and Jay Schnitt.
Yeah.
They're top 2 on my list.
Are they?
Yep. Definitely.
And Tramp Jet's got a bunch of shows. Well, not a bunch, but they got a couple of shows coming up. I know they're playing Nail Creek really soon. And
July
of course, the Woods Fest.
15th, I believe.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. I'll be there. I'll be at that one. Where else are they playing? I can't remember things. That's why I take notes and write them all down.
Yeah. Chris Fisher's checking in. He's saying Wade, which we mentioned that before. What's Wade all about? That's Mikey Powell.
That's Mike Powell's group.
So is it kind of the same vein as the Black River, or is it a little bit different?
It's a little bit more jam bandy.
Okay.
I was able to get a few sneak peeks of what they sound like. John's kind of channeling a little bit of Jerry vibe on his guitar.
Interesting.
So yeah, and Fish is the official archivist for Mike Powell and Black River and now Wade. So Fish will send me little snippets of stuff every now and then of what's going on with those guys.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah. The other guy you need to go check out, Washburn, Isaac French. The kid is killing it.
Will be.
He's an amazing talent. I'm surprised you didn't see him back when you're in your Burlington days.
Maybe I did.
He's a Burlington
know.
guy.
Yeah, he's
We'll
from
find out
St.
when we
Albans,
see
I
him.
think, is his hometown.
Oh, okay.
He was just up there this past weekend playing at Stowe Cider.
Awesome. Bandage is saying Schnitt is actually reuniting with the boys from Reuben James this
That's
summer.
true.
Yep.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
gonna
At
play
11.
At the Amp,
11
right?
Amp, yep.
11 amp. And
Looking
shout
forward
out
to that.
shout out to Michelle Truitt, man. She put together a nice little lineup in such a short period of time.
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah,
nice.
there's
to-
some good artists playing that.
Yeah. Yes, he does. I know Sophistifunk's on that. I'm definitely going to check out that Sophistafunk. I'll definitely be there for that Reuben
yeah,
James thing,
they're
too.
fun.
Great band. Great band. I'm thrilled that the series is back for the summer. A truly amazing way to catch music. Thank you, Bandage. If everybody is watching us on Facebook, and if you could do us a favor and click that share button, help spread the word of 315music.com and everything we're doing here on the D, would be greatly appreciated. Hanging out with Mike Kohli, Mr. Porch Dick, and Brian Michael Washburn. I always have to throw your middle name in there. You know, it's just, I don't know.
That's what it is.
It's what the BMW.
Right. That's how we met.
That's how we met. How did we meet?
We met. It's funny. He was asking me on the way down here. We met.
Remind me.
I just started writing for the Revolving Door, and I kind of usually wrote about Captain Trips because that's who had live shows, and then I heard about this place called Doozy's Tavern that was going to be opening up, and so I drove down one
The
afternoon,
worst name ever.
knocked on the window, and it was you and Nagel were inside, and I just introduced myself, and we've been friends ever since.
Yeah.
And then we'd start to see each other at
I do
shows. I
remember
remember
this now.
seeing you at the Amp. At the homegrown, it's funny the shit you remember. It was the homegrown CDs,
Oh my God.
homegrown label.
Music
Remember that?
Network.
Yeah.
You're actually.
We're like
I got
looking-
chills right now. You're telling me
We're
this.
like looking through
I
records.
totally remember this
and
moment.
there's somebody next to me, and I look up, and we kind of looked at each other like, hey, you, what's up?
Are
man?
you
How
from
doing?"
Utica?
Right. Didn't you just come on in and you want to interview me, right? Or something like that,
Oh my God! I got
was
chills
great.
now. You just said that.
Never forget it.
So that was it Scotty Palooza or maybe a Harvest
That was
Moon
a
Jam?
Scotty
Was it?
Palooza. Yep,
Mhm.
with Wookie Foot. Remember those guys?
Yeah.
And God.
Was
what
that the
else?
year John Brown's Body played in the tent and it was pouring rain
No.
and they just squeezed everybody in that tent? That show, that
No, I
John
don't
Brown's
think so.
Body show with everybody in the tent and the downpouring rain, that changed my life. It was one of those musical moments that I will never forget.
Was that not? Was that at Snow Ridge though?
No, that wasn't
That
Snow
was-
Ridge. That was at the Amp.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, I don't think it was the same year. Because that year it didn't rain. It didn't rain. That year, no.
This is that night, though. I'm talking, this was like 2, 3 in the morning it rained. And John Brown's Body was playing late night.
I don't think that was the same year.
No.
That must have been awesome though.
I wonder what happened to that place. Have anybody heard about what?
I don't know.
That was a great venue.
Which
Vienna?
place?
The Amp in Vienna. It was
Yeah.
over by Sylvan Beach.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I remember they used to have a lot of shows out there.
Yep.
Yeah, kind of fell off the radar.
It's a good spot. And then Joe did a couple soul flows there, or maybe we did one soul flow there. I can't remember.
I don't know. I went to the one at Moose River. I remember that one.
That was a cool spot.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was a cool
That
spot.
was cool.
You mentioned Maddie and the blind spots. You know that's Suave from the Jug Band, right? That's his wife. And he's in that band. So they'll be playing at Woods Fest. And that's coming up on the 7th and 8th of August.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool band, man. Check those guys out.
Looking forward to it.
And you know what's going on in Ithaca this weekend? You would
Grassroots, right?
is it
No.
Actually Grassroots is doing some weird
Yeah, they're
things.
doing like a weekly thing or something.
Yeah, which is cool, but they're also having something that you would be interested in is Porch Fest.
Oh yeah. Somebody's every time there's something porch related, I get links sent to me. But this is right up your alley. Yeah. You sure is it Ithaca or Cortland?
You've branded yourself.
I
You know
have
that.
branded myself as the porch.
Ithaca.
Okay, because I know Cortland does one too. Chris Merkley runs something down in Cortland
Mm-hmm.
that's similar to that. I think it's called Porch Fest too.
Something I think maybe we should do in Utica or Rome. It's a neat concept.
Yeah, definitely.
Band set up in a neighborhood, and people, open up their porches to these bands to play, and people just kind of walk up and down the
Like
neighborhood.
a block party?
Yeah.
Yeah,
would be awesome.
great.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. There's some
Yeah.
really cool neighborhoods in Utica I could think that would be a great spot for that.
Well, I was up in Burlington this past weekend with my wife, and every Friday, I think in June, they're doing a jazz fest on Fridays, starting at like 12:30.
Wow.
So it's kind of just like a block party there, right off of Church Street. All the bars and venues along Church Street had something set up where there was music going on. There was tons of music. It was just Friday afternoon. We got there around 11 o'clock, and there was a band setting up by City Hall. Looked like maybe some high school guys or something. All jazzy, bluesy type stuff, but all up and down Church Street, it was just music, and it was great. It was just kind of we just walked into it. We just decided we were going to go to Burlington for the day. We didn't have any plan. We just got on the ferry and went over there.
It's the best kind of day to be there.
Yeah, and it was
just
great.
meander
Yeah,
about.
and just all of a sudden there was music everywhere. And I was like, man, we got to do something like that around here.
Let's put our heads together. We've got so many intricate people in this area that is so involved with the music scene that we can let's form a committee and do something like a porch fest or something to that effect. There's a lot of cool things happening around town, and we should kind of get all hands on deck type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea.
There's so many people around that could help out.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. It's good that music's coming back, though, man. And listen, everybody needs to go out there. This is my PSA of the day, people. You have been without music for over a year.
Right.
All right? Get out there and support your locals, support your nationals, your regionals. Just get out and support music in general.
Right.
There's some great venues out there. Ray Brothers and Bag Square. Have you guys been to Bag Square, bro?
I have not been
I
to
have
Bag
not.
Square.
Pretty
yet.
cool place, man.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing.
I felt like I was at kind of like a mini Saranac Thursday. They had everything outside in the parking lot,
Oh,
and
cool.
under tents, and they had tables and chairs to sit down at. Last Laugh was playing. It was a very, very cool vibe. So
Nice.
highly recommend checking out that place. And of course, the Harp and the Lukens and Nail Creek. Can't forget about Nail Creek. There's some venues around. There definitely is some venues around. So get out there and support your locals.
Copper City Brewing.
Copper City Brewing Company. Can you plug some shows that are coming up at Copper City?
Yeah, we're doing Wednesday nights now. Seeing that when we were doing Thursdays, other people started doing Thursdays before we started doing music again, so we didn't want to compete with them.
Can't blame you.
So we're doing Wednesdays now. So tonight we got Nash playing, Nash Rob. Next week is it's Father's Day. We have Beth and Fritz playing.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
So we're gonna do we're doing
love Beth.
Bloody
Me
Marys
too.
that day. We're doing Bloody Marys, and we're doing I think something else, but we got Beth and Fritz playing. Then we got on next Wednesdays John Liebing.
Oh, great.
So we're bringing him back. He was part of the quarantine concerts too.
Mm-hmm.
He was hilarious.
Oh, he's always funny.
He's such a ball buster.
He also does my theme song here on EC Radio.
Yeah, you were telling me that last time. It didn't even sound like him.
Yeah.
But we got there's an Irish session every last Tuesday of the month. We're doing an Irish session with Craig Dugan. They were doing it at Stockdale's for years, and Stockdale's isn't open on Tuesdays anymore, so they moved over to our place.
Oh, cool.
So it's the last Tuesday of every month, so we're doing that. On the 30th, Agnosia's coming in. That's Mark Zappavigna and Paulie Belanger. They're part of Work Related. They play in the band Work Related too.
Gotcha.
But they'll do some acoustic stuff. They do some Fish. They do some Dead. They do some Dylan. That kind of stuff. And then I just worked this out last night with Kate Devon. She's been going through some health issues.
Yeah.
She wants to get out there and play, but she can't do a full set. So she was looking to collaborate with somebody. So she's going to collaborate on a show with Ashley Rose. I think she's out of the Syracuse area. So Kate and Ashley are going to be coming in on July 7th, doing a dual show. I'm not sure if they're going to play together or just do one set each, or we're still working details out on that. Evan Bujold from Late Earth, guitarist, vocalist, bass player, really cool guy. I've really gotten to know him pretty well over the last year during quarantine. He's coming in on July 21st. Then we got Mark Zappi's coming back again with Colin Roller. He's a nice, hot guitarist, too, in this area. He plays with Work Related. They're coming as a duo. And then the next big thing we have is Oktoberfest. We just booked Fritz again for our Oktoberfest, which will be in September.
Got the polka
September
band
10th.
coming in.
Fritz's polka band. He brings the crowds, man. Every time we do it twice a year because typically the traditional Oktoberfest is actually in September in Germany.
Uh-huh.
So we brew an Oktoberfest beer. We book Fritz's polka band. He brings all his fans in. We have all our typical regulars that come in for these types of things. We have German food, brats and sauerkraut and all that stuff. So we make a big deal out of it in October. Then in February, when there's absolutely jack shit going on, we're like, let's have another Oktoberfest. So we call it Febtoberfest. We make another Oktoberfest beer. We bring Fritz back in with the band. And we do the same thing in February that we do in October. Obviously, we didn't do it this February, but We got that coming up in September.
Fritz's polka band is not your ordinary polka band.
They are not. Definitely not.
A quick story about them. We were hanging out at a corn show at the old Upstate Music Hall. It was Northern Lights back then. And when I had the bar, and Jägermeister hooked me up with a bunch of VIP tickets. And at that time, Fritz's polka band was sponsored by Jägermeister. So he was there just checking out the show. How about the polka band outdrank Korn that night? I'll just put it. Long story short, that's what happened. The polka band outdrank Korn.
Nice.
Hilarious, bro. Legendary though, man. Fritz is a legend.
He took me to see Iron Maiden a couple years ago. He had an extra ticket to see Maiden in Buffalo.
Oh, cool.
So he sent me a text. He's like, "Dude, you want to go see Iron Maiden?" I'm like, "Sure." Iron Maiden's one of the first bands I ever fell in love with. So I'm like, "Yeah, definitely." So we rode out in the purple Mustang out to Buffalo.
Nice.
Spent the night out there and rocked out to some. It was a great show, the Maiden show, because they weren't touring on an album then, so they were playing all their hits, and they weren't just playing the songs from the new album.
Was that the Darien Lake show?
No, that was at the whatever the hockey arena is called, Buffalo now, HSBC or something like that. Yeah, so it was there.
Wow, cool. And hopefully we get to see Maiden come back again.
That would be sweet.
And I don't think there has ever been a bad Iron Maiden show ever.
No, definitely not.
I've been down to Long Island to see them. I've been all over to see those guys
I went to the Garden to see them with my brother a few years ago.
Oh,
that was insane.
Yeah. Have you been to the Garden for a lot of shows?
That's the only time I've ever been to the Garden.
How about you, Washburn? Have you been to the Garden for any shows?
Madison?
Madison Square Garden.
Handful. I saw the Who and Robert Plant there. Fish.
Oh, that's it?
It might be actually.
Amazing. There's something about Madison Square Garden when you're in it, not only because it's so legendary, but when there's a concert there, you could just feel the building move, and there's something different about a concert at the Garden than any other venue.
Yeah,
I don't know what it
The
is.
sound is amazing. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Do you guys like? That makes me think of something. Do you like indoor shows better or outdoor shows? Or
Great question. I don't know. That's hard to.
I like theater shows.
Theater shows?
Indoor. Like the Dome. I could care less if I ever see a show at the Dome again. The Dome
sounds like shit.
The Paul McCartney show at the Dome, I don't know how they did it, but they made it sound great.
They did.
It sounded
They
awesome.
almost burned the place down, too. They did.
McCartney?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
You didn't know about that?
No.
One of the pyrotechnics caught on fire.
Yes,
on the
I do
sandbag
remember
on
that
one
now.
of the-
Yeah,
one of the
that's right.
trussings, and this kid literally shimmied himself up there and bottles of water on it.
I remember that.
And it
now,
was
yeah.
like feet from the actual dome. That thing almost came down that night. It was almost that much scary.
Oh, that would have been terrible.
I don't know what I prefer. Me, I like my space.
Yeah.
So when I'm at a show, I like to be, and especially if it's GA, I like to be by the soundboard because I always feel like that's the best spot to hear to hear it. I like my space. So I like the whole 6-foot distance rule. I'm into that. As far as being outdoors, yeah, I'll prefer the lawn. I'll go out to the lawn and stuff. But the only thing is sometimes I hate watching it on the screen. I'd rather just kind of watch it and be inside. Yeah. You're right about the theater. I love seeing shows at the Stanley. Love that intimacy.
And then just the sound of these buildings is awesome.
Right.
From the Stanley to the Landmark to the Palace. And the State Theater in Ithaca. That's a great sounding room too.
And then I also like the gig at the Turning Stone. I think that's a great venue especially for the locals and regionals that are coming in and out of there. I think it's a great spot. So yeah, I don't know. It depends. It depends on
what's going on.
Yeah, or the time of year too.
Sure. Oh yeah. Summertime, put me outside for sure. But there's something about indoor shows. I don't know. The sound is better usually. Lights. You're enclosed. You're encapsulated in this world. Fuck the rest of the world right now.
Oh, I hear you.
But then at the same time, yeah, outdoor shows. You're like, I'm one with the universe. There's all the stars. It's amazing. Wherever I am is the one I like, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. There you go.
So exciting. I was so happy to have you guys in here, man, and chop it up a little bit. You guys want to plug anything before we get out of here?
315music.com.
We've been talking for over an hour. I can't believe it. It goes by so damn fast.
Yeah, let's hope the summer slows down a little bit.
Yeah, right.
It's already almost July. It's nuts. But yeah, 315music.com, Woods Fest. You can get your tickets at theticketing.co is the URL. $45 per day, $75 for the weekend. 20 bands plus roving artists at large throughout the weekend.
It'll be a fun time.
It's going to be fun.
It's such a great festival.
I can't wait to go. I've heard nothing but great things about shows at Woods Valley, and I've never been to one. This will be the first. So.
It's such a great festival. That last festival was it was epic. It really was.
Yeah, we had a blast at that one.
We really did. Really did. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for hanging with me today. This has been awesome. This has been great. Good to see you, Washburn. Of course, you too, Kohli. And we'll be out at Woods Fest, right? Are we going to still do that thing?
Yeah,
Woods Fest? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We'll be out there and hanging out, and maybe you could be the co-host for the day or something.
I'll
I don't know.
down.
We'll figure
I'll sit down for a couple hours.
I got to thank you for hooking me up with this guy, too.
Oh, for sure, man. I think it only made sense.
You gave me a call one night, and you're like, I got this guy for you. I think he'd be a good fit, blah, blah, blah. Here's his contact info. And today's the first time we've met face to face. We've been shooting texts and then emails and messages back and forth and phone calls, but we've never met. Right. So I stopped to pick him up to come out here.
Is that right?
Yeah, the first time we're hanging out's on camera.
We documented your first meeting.
Right.
That's super cool, man.
No, but looking forward to, collaborating, writing, and, just spreading the love about the scene out there.
Yeah.
315 local artists, artists that are coming here locally to play, everything. So
excellent. Good. I'm glad you two linked up. It only made sense. It did. It only made sense. And you're doing some great things in this community, Kohli. You have, not even just with Woods Fest and Copper City with 315 Music, but you're out there. You're doing some good things. We need more promoters like you of this local music scene.
I agree.
And Washburn, you've always been a tremendous writer, so it only makes sense that you guys come together. Wonder Twin Powers activate. Are you looking for more writers or more staffing?
More writers than photographers. We have a lot of photographers.
Okay.
But writers, definitely.
Okay. How do they get a hold of you if somebody's interested in writing?
Send me an email, mike@315music.com.
Okay.
If anybody's interested in it's as much as you want to do. It's not, a paid gig. It's not an hourly thing.
Yeah, but there's perks.
Yeah, there's perks.
There's definitely some great perks that go along with this.
Yeah, you get, just in the 7 or 8 years that I've been working with music websites, I've started booking shows and booking a festival and working at a festival and coming on your show and being able to be a promoter of all things live and local. And
you have to love music, live music.
But yeah, definitely. If you're a big music fan and you want to get out there and write up, especially the locals, they need the love. Every band was local once.
Exactly.
I like that. And
it's a great way to display, as I say every day, I feel like I say this every day, it's a great way to display all the talent here in the 315. So much.
Yeah.
So much. We could. There's so many people we didn't even talk about today.
Right.
And we'll have to bring you back on so we can talk about those.
We'll do that.
Okay.
But actually, I'd like to get you back on just before Woods Fest so we could promote that up a little bit. Shout out to Tim Woods, too, for...
Yep, Tim Woods, Matt Strong is doing the production for us. He lined up most of the bands for this one.
Cool.
He's with Rooted Entertainment.
Yeah.
So yeah, Matt's been working hard.
He's a great dude.
Tim's been jamming away getting those renovations done up there. So yeah, it's going to be fantastic, and we're going to christen the new place with this festival.
That's going to be the opening for music coming back over there?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think he's got a wedding planned before that, but other than that, we'll be the first event.
Awesome.
At the new building.
Super cool. Super exciting, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. I also want to remind everybody on Monday, the boys from Andy in the Water, Michael and Bradley, will be in the house. We're going to chop it up for Local Music Monday. They're going to play a couple songs. So if you guys are out and about and you're around, tune in, click that share button, and definitely like us on social media, all the social media platforms. We're on. You can find us on Twitter and Twitch and Instagram, and just search Disruption Network. So shout out to EJA Moving Services, Joey's at 307, Utica Coffee, my attorney Dave Longaretta, and the Saranac Brewery. Tomorrow I come back with the Uncle Louie Variety Show, and then on Friday I'm doing a very special show on Friday. I was on Mix 102 FM yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, I was hanging out with Big Papa. Now Big Papa's going to come on my show on Friday. I don't normally do a show on Friday, but I am for Gary. Gary and I go way back. We used to DJ weddings together back in 1995. And we had. It's weird though, because going on radio, everything's so timed. I only had like 2 minutes. You know, we're here. We could just shoot the shit as long as I want. And so I'm going to get into his inner psyche on Friday. But it was cool to hang out with everybody. And I got to see Rain Man yesterday. I got to see some old K-Rock friends. So it was really cool to hang out at Galaxy. And we had a great old time. But that's going to happen on Friday. Me and Big Papa chopping it up here on the D. You guys get out and support your local music. Mike Kohli, Bryan Washburn, love you both. Thank you for coming in. I'll see you tomorrow with the Uncle Louie Variety Show. Later.
Peace.